Ende bayi asim ko bosin keta mana na yimma asim kan ko echikwelu ya zelu. Dịka o si dị, ihe a bụ Eastern News 24 bụ ebe anyị si were wetara unu ya bụ nnukwu ozi dị oke mkpa gbasịta maka ihe na-eme na obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya, ana gbasịta maka nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ. Dịka o si dị, ọ bụ na ya bụ ụbọchị izi gị ị na-agafete n'iru akwụkwọ afọ chanel anyị, kaba alụ ka ị sọbskraibụ antọnụ onyo notifikeshọn. Maka gịnị? Anyị na-etinyekwanụ update daily gbasịta maka ihe na-eme n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya, na gbasịta maka nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ. Dịka o si dị, ya wetara unu n'iru akwụkwọ bụ ife anyị na-akpọkwa evening tea ka anyị ji maka ya, ka anyị ji mara ya. Anyị na-akpọ ya evening tea. Ife a bụ Biafran prime minister in exile were ife were ịgwa ụmụ Igbo. Unu ga-esi ya bụ ife n'ụdị nke gị, ị ga-esi ya bụ ife ịkaba alụ kwuo efe ichelu gbasịta maka ihe ndị a niile Biafran prime minister kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nke taa anyị na-akpọ evening tea. You can say drop your own comment. All right, over to you, sir.
On the 2nd of December 2024, as we declare the restoration of the sovereign state of Biafra, Biafra will ratify the United Nations International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which was found in 1966. My fellow Biafrans and the good people of the world that are listening and are very, very sympathetic to the cause of Biafra people, I want you to understand that Biafra will be the beginning of civilization in Africa. We have suffered enough. Our people have been killed, and those who made it alive today should go and thank their God that they are alive to witness this particular history that we are making in this generation. On the 2nd of December 2024, that historic day, Biafra will ratify the United Nations International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. My fellow Biafrans, I want you to understand what we are doing. For those who think that this is a joke, you will understand after 2nd of December. My fellow Biafrans, on 2nd of December, the Biafra government will ratify and assent to the United Nations Convention Against Torture and other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment, which came into force in 1984. On the 2nd of December 2024, Biafra government will assent and ratify the United Nations Convention on the Right of Child, which came into force in 1989. We are laying this foundation for those who do not understand how Biafra will restore stability in the entire region, to understand that only by the rule of law that sanity will return to the region of the West Africa, largest resources. On the 2nd of December 2024, during the convention that will shape the history of Africa, Biafra government will assent and ratify the United Nations International Convention on the Protection of Rights of all migrant workers and members of their families, which came into force in 1990. My fellow Biafrans, on the 2nd of December, we are not just only declaring the restoration of independence state of Biafra to raise a legal document, but we are also assenting as a government, ratifying the United Nations International Convention for Protection of All Persons from Enforced Disappearance. Today, Nigeria is known for enforcing the disappearance of those who criticize it, who criticize the government, those who criticize the leaders, those who criticize officials. They enforce their disappearance. Just a few days ago, we listened to one of the lawmakers bragging to a taxi driver how he can make him disappear and nobody will talk about him anymore. It happens. Thousands of people have disappeared as a result of them criticizing the government officials. While Nigeria was party to this treaty, they encourage and use their law enforcement agencies to violate it. Biafra is bringing alternative. How can you come against the Biafra government? We are people that embrace the future and innovation. So we are going to abide by this international covenant, international law, and international treaty, making sure that it is a pathway to restore peace and stability. On the 2nd of December 2024, the Biafra government will not only declare the restoration of independence of Biafra to restore peace and stability in the Sahel region, but we are also going to assent and ratify the Convention on the Right of Persons with Disability. My fellow Biafrans, on the 2nd of December, when you hear them say December 2nd will come, a lot is going to happen that day. It's going to be one of the most important days in the history of humankind. The Biafra government, during this convention on the 2nd of December, will ratify and assent to the United Nations optional protocol to the Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. My fellow Biafrans, on that same day, 2nd of December, the Biafra government will also ratify and assent up to the optional protocol to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. My fellow Biafra people and the lovers of freedom across the world, we are solidifying the legal document that will form the pathway to the recognition of the Biafra as a government, as a state, and then also to bring in lasting peace to the already deteriorating security situation in the Sahel and in the region of the eastern part of Nigeria called Biafra. My fellow Biafrans, on the 2nd of December, the Biafra government will be ratifying and assenting to the United Nations second optional protocol to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. And our aim is the abolition of the death penalty. This particular convention aiming at the abolition of death penalty, Biafra government will assent and ratify this treaty. In Finland, where I live, which we have taken models from the constitution and many structures of the government, we do not have death penalty. And here, everybody is enjoying, and the government is working for the people. Crime rate is very low. My fellow Biafran, on the 2nd of December, the Biafra government, during the convention, will ratify and assent to the United Nations optional protocol to the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination against Women, which came into force in 1999. The Biafra government will ratify and assent to this convention and treaty. My fellow Biafran, the Biafra government, under my leadership as a prime minister, during the convention in Finland on the 2nd of December 2024, will also ratify and assent to the United Nations optional protocol to the Convention on the Right of the Child on the Involvement of Children in Armed Conflict. We will ratify this treaty and abide by it, not like the Nigeria terrorist state are doing in the northern Nigeria. On this 2nd of December 2024, as we declare raising a document for the restoration of independence state of Biafra, the Biafra government will ratify and consent to the United Nations Optional Protocol to the Convention on the Right of Child, on the Sales of Children, Child Prostitution, and child pornography. Like under Nigeria, these are not crimes. Why Nigeria assent and sign into these particular treaties, they do not even know the value. They do not know the value in the society. They do not know how it helped to shape in society to become a better society like you have in Europe. Like one of the criminals in IPOB, Nigeria, was surprised why Simon Ekpa is making all these utterances in the name of fighting Biafra and nobody is disturbing him. But his uncle shared a nude of a child in Germany, and he has been in the court for the past 5 years. As a Nigerian criminal, this man does not understand that sharing any child pornography is a serious crime. And here is where that particular law was derived from. Under this particular treaty, under the United Nations, the optional protocol to the Convention on the Right of the Child on the Sales of Children and Child Prostitution and Child Pornography. He didn't know it's a crime because he is a product of Nigeria. So Nigeria does not respect international law, and that is the reason, that is one of the reasons that are anarchy, insecurity, and all manner of atrocities in Nigeria, and they do not see most of these things as crime. So they come to Europe, they commit these crimes, and they are wondering why police is after them. We will ratify these laws, teach the people what is right and wrong, and make our society a sane and more saner place to live. My fellow Biafrans, on the 2nd of December, alongside other dignitaries that will embrace our convention all over the world, they will witness and observe the Biafra government assent and ratifying the United Nations Optional Protocol to the Convention on the Right of Child on a communication procedure. We will also, on that 2nd of December, ratify the United Nations Optional Protocol on the Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman, and Degrading Treatment or Punishment. The Biafra government will not only do consent to all these protocols, convention, and optional protocols of the United Nations, but also we are going to ratify the United Nations Optional Protocol to the Convention on the Right of Persons with Disability. I want you to understand that there are many international instruments that the Biafra government will consent to, and make sure we uphold this treaty, not just consenting and ratifying it like Nigeria did and other Islamic terrorist states, but we are going to make sure that we follow these particular laws because it is the only pathway to peace. Once you uphold this law, the rule of law, and abide by the treaties, it is actually shaping to restore peace, stability, tranquility, and all manner of harmony that you can enjoy as a nation. That's the difference between the Europe and Africa. And like I said, because we have come here, there is no other tribe, there is no other nation in the world that is widely traveled like the Biafra people. And not only that we are traveled, we are also in the government in different countries of our residence. We participate in the nation building, and we have learned a lot, and we want to now bring it to build our nation, to make it the beginning of civilization in Africa. I want to stop here because of time. So I will be taking questions, especially from people who wish to ask questions. And even though I have a limited time, but now you have at least a glimpse of the kind of things we are doing or we are going to do during the convention, it is not just about declaring Biafra restoration and all that. The aim of and objective of this convention is to raise this legal document that we are going to use to pursue the recognition of Biafra as a state. And this is one of the pillars of doing that, is by ratifying the United Nations international human rights treaties and getting ready to abide by these rules and regulations in order to restore peace and stability in our region, in our country, and in our state. Thank you very much, the media team. Over to you, Raphael. I have given you a co-host, so Success, you can continue from here. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Prime Minister. And good evening, fellow Biafrans. All protocols due observed here. All ministers of the Biafran Republic government in exile and the de facto government in homeland, you are welcome to this very press briefing by our Prime Minister, making bold of our steps ahead of 2nd of December. And as you can just hear from him, it is not just go to Finland and make a declaration, then raise a document, start sending to countries for recognition, but also to be part of the legal binding force that binds other nations, which made that very singular forum called United Nations. And there are a whole lot of it, as he has named them here, which Nigeria was in a hurry to become part of. They don't read the treaties, they don't read the agreements, they never read the backgrounds of what they're about to sign. They already signed it because they want to be part of the United Nations and also make part of the United Nations Security Council. And back home, they are disobeying the treaties they sign, which also form the nucleus part of their own constitutions. The centerpiece of their constitution is deriving from all these rights named by our Prime Minister this evening, and they don't even respect their own constitutions. How do they respect an international treaties, which they never read the backgrounds? So, according to our Prime Minister, he has assured us that we shall be part of all these agreements and treaties and bring first-hand civilization in Africa, not only Sahel, but in the whole of Africa, because it is only us that can be able to obligate and make this possible. So, Prime Minister, thank you very much. I know the 2nd of December is going to be whole lot of power-packed activities, which shall appear to the world as a surprise. Thank you very much. Deputy Minister of Communication, Mazi Raf Ajare. Welcome, sir, and unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, sir. Good evening, my Prime Minister. Good evening, fellow Biafrans and lovers of freedom. You're all welcome to this wonderful occasion of being with our Prime Minister to receive the blessings of Biafra, and we can see how far we are going. And obviously, we are very close home. We are very close home, and I give Chuko Kabiam the glory. Thank you so much, Success, and everyone that is in this space. Please, Prime Minister wants to engage every one of us. As you have listened to all that he has said, please, based on what he just discussed, please bring your questions and go straight to the point. As the hands are being raised, I will respond to you accordingly. Please, as you will finish your questions, you just go down to listening mode so that the next person will be able to come up. First on this space will be Triple M. Triple M, please unmute yourself. You have at least 1 or 2 minutes to bring your questions and make it.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Pastor Honorable Pastor Van. Thank you, my fellow Biafrans all over the world. Thank you, my indefatigable Foreign Minister. We appreciate you so much. But I won't say that is a question. It's just to applaud you because you renew the quality and the pride of the Biafrans in that so-called, in fact, all over the world, not only in the zoo. But I just want to ask you this question. I know it's not in line with what we are discussing actually, but it's with regards of what the criminal OBJ said during the time they captured our leader, they kidnapped him. So he made a statement that they had made a very big mistake. The guy in Finland is more deadlier than the person they captured. Now, my question is this: were you in anywhere have something to do with OBJ for him to make that statement, or he had went underground because he's a criminal, he's a bony man? Because sometimes you do tell the criminal activity in Nigeria before you fight, you go to your village, kick out to your gods or whomsoever to tell you who you are. So my question is, do you in any way have something to do with OBJ before he made that statement? Thank you, my friend. Minister. I appreciate it.
I have nothing to do with OBJ, and I will never have anything to do with him. He knows what I know, and I knows what he knows.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. How about OBJ?
ndị be anyị daalụli nnenu nke ukwuu ka unu si wee gbaa mbọ wee na-esore anyị n'ife anyị na-eme n'elu akwụkwọ dị iche iche. Ọ bụ ife m chọrọ ikwu bifo ma lapụ unu ka unu tinye alụ nke unu ife uche n'elu akwụkwọ gbasịta maka ya bụ ife dịka o si ada na dịka o si akpọtụ n'elu akwụkwọ. Ọ biko wa ajụ m chọrọ ịjụ, biko ndị Igbo ọma na-ege ntị saanụ ya bụ ajụjụ. Ọ ga-edugokwu n'oge anyị akpọ n'ụwa anyị meeting nke ịbụọ jụọ ụwa anyị nwanne anyị nwoke anọ n'ụlọ nke mkpọrọ ebe a ka ọ ya anọzi. Ọ ga-edugo oge onye ọbụla bụ onye Igbo ya pụta tinye ebe ya bụ ife ọnụ maka ya bụ ife akarigo. Nnamdi Kanu nwere ife o mere n'iru akwụkwọ. Tọsifọ ihe ọjọọ mere n'iru akwụkwọ bụ na ọ sị na ọ chọọzi ịbụ onye Naịjirịa. Tọsọ ya bụ ife ọjọọ mere. And ndị ọha eze niile ma ndị niile were na-ekwuchara ndị Igbo ọnụ fa, nobody is doing something about it. Nobody is doing anything about it. Ife a na-asụ bụ tọsọ ogologo oyibo. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu bụ the leader of indigenous people of Biafra IPOB si na mmegide a na-emegide ụmụnne ya dịrị ọzọ ya alụ mma si nye ya Biafra ka ọ na. Okay, to tell you that what that thing Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-ekwu n'eziokwu, since eji Maazị Nnamdi Kanu check the system of Nigeria till now, the system na-ebezi akwa, everything is collapsing. Always able to phone hotter. What's the more you hold him, the more the economy destroyed. He said these things. Obuli fomu na ipota ine kubo kamake je yondi flani na major on the flani. Chefo no ha buzo we major ndi Igbo. Owoli ndi Igbo mele ndi flani. There's nothing an Igbo man. What if Igbo man mele flani? Ndo aneze sina neji yo in the flani about the killings in 1914. Na jubikon owoli ndi Igbo mele ndi flani. First from the jail we conquered si Hausa niile we bata ka konka kwuora n'Igbo ofu onye pụtalụ bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu si na nke ama mme na ndị ka ife a adịlọ achụbịa ka egbuo onye Igbo ewere nwanne ya lee. Ya bụ ife bụ ọ bụrụ ihe nji maka ya wee bịa ma ọ bụ niile ege ọnụ m n'ife anyị na-ekwu n'iru akwụkwọ. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu stand with justice, equity and fairness. O ndị emebere iwu iche ọ bụla ajụ na-ajụ ya so ndị Igbo akwa ejidere ya lapụ ya akwa the same thing Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-azụ ka ọ na-azụ. ndị Igbo kpọọ n'onwe unu meeting jụọ unu ajụ ọgwụnakọ ha m n'ọnụ daalụ dị na-ekwusi na-esore anyị ọ bụla nke a bụ ụbọchị izu gị na-abịa n'iru akwụkwọ esore na Morning Tea na Eastern News 24 kabarụ ka ị sọskraịbụ and turn on your notification ka ịlapụ ime isi for update dịka anyị na-drọp ya n'iru akwụkwọ oge niile. Daalụnụ ụmụnne m ọgwụnakọ ha m n'ọnụ.